Hey guys, it's Nicholas here from upgradeToLife.com, and in this video I want to show with you my story, and also I want to show with you my personal success stories, or at least some of the success stories that I experienced while testing the law of assumption, while applying and working with the law of assumption in my life. So let's just jump into it and let's look at today's agenda. Well, it's quite simple. So at first I want to show with you my stories. I have a little breakdown of like the most important things that happened in the last couple of years. Also some of my successes, right? Some of the things that I consciously manifested. And then I want to show with you some related videos that you can watch on my channel that you will find and that will definitely help you to also get more success stories. So with that, I would say let's just directly jump in and answer the question, who am I, right? Who am I? Who is this Nicholas that stands behind Upgrade Your Life? Who am I? What was my experience before I actually came about and came to discover Neville's teachings? I had a life before that, right? I had a life before I actually became more aware, started to use my imagination consciously, started to like have this company, have Upgrade Your Life, and also help other people shift their lives. So first of all, like you know by now, right, I'm Nicholas. I'm from Germany, which means I'm speaking German as well. And yeah, that's basically me. So here you see two images of me. One is from Ibiza and one is in a big city in Germany. And I would like to explain to you my journey starting at my school time, because before that it's too long. I don't even know exactly what happened before that. But no, it's just so many things. But in my school time, to summarize that, is that I would say I was a very bad student actually, meaning I had bad grades. I was very rebellious, and also the only thing that me and my friends had in our head was just doing party, smoking weed, getting drunk, doing this and that, and this was our life. So I always would say, like, I always was this kind of rebel. I always was someone who went against what other people said, or like went against like all fishes would swim in this direction. I would like to swim actually in the other direction, or don't even swim in the same pool that the fish are in, be in a completely different pool. That was me, like, and some of my friends too. Like, we were a little bit different. We were like those kids that you would have not allowed your kids to play with, basically, you know? So smoked some weed here and there, did some shit. That was who we are, right? And in this time, I knew nothing about Neville. I knew nothing about the law of assumption. I knew nothing about my imagination. I didn't know all of this stuff. But I had this inner feeling of there's more to life. And this started when I was actually a little kid. Like I built a lot of things. Like when people ask me what I want to become later, I said I want to be a creator. I want to build things. I just want to invent things. Now to continue the story, after school, I went to college, right? I listened to what society tells most people. I listened to what my friends told me and my family told me, and they said, hey, Nicholas, come on, go to college. There you will learn a lot of new things. You will have a degree, and then you will earn good money, and then you can live your life. And by the way, I'm not saying that this is all bad. I mean, if you want this, if this is your path, then go for it. But in my personal opinion, we are here to like do something more than ending up in a typical 9 to 5. And again, this is not a bad thing. You can definitely do this. If you enjoy your job, do it. But the only thing that I can't understood is when people tell me they do the 9 to 5, but then they vent and they are like, oh, this is so shitty, this is so shitty. When you talk about those people with when you talk with those people and say them, you can actually have your own thing. You can be your own creator. You can just live your life on your terms. Basically, then they say, oh, this is so difficult. This is not for me, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not a big fan of excuses. And yeah, but to come back to the story, right? I just went to fucking college and wanted to get a degree. And that's okay, right? You can do this. It's fine. No worries. No problem about that. So I did this, and it's not a coincidence when I look back, but early in my college time, I would say in at least the first 2 to 3 months, there was a guy who had a presentation in our class, and he talked about startups and entrepreneurship and having your own business and investors being your own boss and stuff like that. And this was the first time I actually heard about this path that hasn't to do with the typical path that society tells you to do, right? So I was like, this sounds interesting, but I didn't know anything about how to build a business, how to do this, how to do that. So the cool thing was that my best friend, he also had this mindset. Like, he also had the mindset of, you know what, maybe we can try our own thing. Maybe we can just build something, do something, help people with something that we can. And we were good at this time at building websites, at managing like social media stuff, obviously, because we grew up in this time, so it's more easy for us to do this, right? So at this time, me and my best friend, we started to build websites for companies, for local businesses, for other people. So I want to show you this closer because I see my face covers the images right now. So let me just pull this right here. So here you can see my desk at the time was very messy. And you can also see me and my best friend, a picture of me and my best friend, right? So we just sat down night after night. We tried to come up with ideas, do this, do that, just try stuff out, right? It was great. We earned some money. We helped some businesses. It was awesome. So then we decided, okay, in order to make something bigger, in order to really make this full time, right? Because we didn't earn that much. In order to make this full time, we have to have some time for ourselves where we can develop this business, or start actually new business. Our goal was not to continue build websites. Our goal was to have our own real like business, so to say, and have something bigger. So with this quote unquote intention, and again, at this time I knew nothing about Neville, law of assumption, self-concept, and all of this stuff, right? But at this time, still things unfolded in a very awesome way. So with the intention to have our own business, we decided to move into another city where we would actually, found our own business. But we didn't know what, when, who, what, why. We didn't know nothing. We just took this leap of faith and we moved into this new city. So we did this. And shortly after, I would say some months after we did this, we were at some home parties, we were at some events. And then there was this guy who was like a programmer, who was like a developer. So he was good at softwares and developing and coding and stuff like that. And we were good at building websites and helping people to manage social media. And then we sat together with some vodka, maybe actually. And again, at this time was super unconscious. And we thought about, okay, like what can we do? How can we combine your knowledge and our knowledge? How can we combine this and maybe make something out of this, right? It was like this, we felt like, okay, this is how Apple was. This maybe can be an Apple, like, because it also started in a garage. And we sat in a small basement and talked about that and drank some alcohol. It was really weird, but also cool at the same time. And then we came up with an idea. So we had an idea from business. We did this. We just started this without any planning, without any whatever. We just said, okay, let's do it like this. This person started coding some stuff. We did some stuff. We built a website for this, and we started to get clients. It started to get some motion, basically. And all of this led to us having our own startup, where I was the CEO of the startup. And later, we actually got a 900,000 euro invest, like a contract for a 900,000 euro invest for this startup. And this was huge. I mean, that's closely to 1 million euros. And in the area, in the local area that we lived in, this is like super uncommon that such a deal happens, right? It takes others like years, and we got this deal in some months, basically. So when I look back, this was a perfect, clear, straight out manifestation. Obviously, everything is, but like a real unconscious, awesome manifestation that we did there. Because like we manifested this office that we had when I look back. We manifested that we have a lot of clients. We manifested we have the investors. It's just that we didn't knew that we can, with our imagination, with our internal states, control this even better. Because we were so unconscious. And in the beginning, this was an awesome business. We had those investors. We had people working for us. Even some of my friends worked for us. And this was great, right? We made good money. No lie, we made good money for young people. And in the beginning, this was a successful business. We were covered in magazines. We were invited to some events and places to speak, to share our story and stuff like that, and our business like. And then slowly over time, over the next couple of months and years, things started to fall apart. And looking back, we search for the cause in outside circumstances. So we said, oh, like this didn't work, this went wrong, this was broken and stuff like that, and therefore everything was shitty. But actually, it was that we had internal issues, all of us. But from my personal point of view, I'm talking about my story right now. And that's true. I had those. I will share them in just a second. And this is when all of it started to slowly fall apart, but not just business-wise, but also in my personal life. Meaning my relationship fell apart, my health situation was crappy, the business fell apart, and I had no money because we had to save money in the company, which meant we didn't pay us monthly payment for ourselves, a personal payment, like personal income, so that the company can survive. So we were literally broke, and the company was short very closely before dying and going bankrupt. The investors were mad at us, and also internally in our company, like me and the other people who funded this company, we had some huge, how should I explain this? Like, the times were rough, okay? Let's bring it to the point. The times were rough, and it was at this point where I realized and where I said to myself, okay, this is no longer what I want. This is no longer what I want to identify myself with. That's not me. I don't want to right now be at a software company. It was great, it was awesome, but it just was not me. And quickly I realized, okay, I want to do something else. Like, I want to work with people, with real people, connect with them, help them on a personal level. And I saw which transformations I took in my life until this point, right? So I also wanted to help others, but I didn't know anything about how, what, why me, how can I do this and stuff like that. And it was at this time when I went into a very long period, over a year, I would say, and even longer, into like self-reflection, just reflecting on my life, just reflecting on what happened. And I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't know anything. I had no job, no relationship. My health was shitty, no money, all of this stuff, right? And you're on this hole. You don't know what to do. And it was at this stage when I was in search for the truth, right? It was at this stage where I wanted to realize, okay, what is really going on? Is there more? Are there deeper causes? What can I do to really shift my life? And that is, I think, the most point when people discover the law of assumption and this whole realm of like consciously creating your life and stuff like that, when they really want to change their life, like when there's really no way out or it's just a crappy situation. And for me, it was like everything combined, like money-wise, relationship-wise, health-wise, and just having no purpose and stuff like that. So everything came together. And at this time, I was introduced to the law of assumption and Neville. So before I came across Neville, I was in a very long period of this typical law of attraction. I literally tried everything, every method, every meditation, every technique, whatever is out there. And I saw small tweaks. I'm not saying that this is 100% shit. I saw some shifts, I saw some changes, right? But the real changes, they happened when I discovered Neville. And then I stopped fully with the law of attraction. It didn't resonate with me at all. I completely neglected this, and now I cannot even relate to this any longer. That's not really what I see is real. It's became this really mainstream thing. It's just my personal opinion, right? Don't get me wrong. And then I came and discovered Neville's teachings and the law of assumption. And I discovered that more like my self-concept, my identity, who I really am, that this determines my life. And I made shifts at the real deep level, which led to me feeling very self-worthy, feeling very deeply loved, appreciated, wanted, adored, worthy, whole, complete. And I hope you can sense this from the way I'm speaking. Maybe it's hard to bring this across, but that's really just who you feel yourself to be when you discover like the deeper truths of life. Okay? Yeah, that is what I did. Stumbled across Neville, started to learn this stuff, started to apply this stuff. I saw, wow, this works. This helped me tremendously to get out of this hole, to get results, to get the things that I want, right? In all of those areas that I mentioned before. And then I was like, wow, like that's fun to transform your life. And also it's a lot of fun to see other people transforming their lives and just growing with them and seeing them grow as well. And that, like the flame I would say a flame actually started to grow within me. And I was like, okay, I want to see people grow. I want to help people who are willing to commit and make this change happen. And not everyone is able to. A lot of people come to me right now and they say, hey, I want this and that. And then I say, okay, let's just do this, right? Or I give them some things to do, but they don't do it. Or they don't want to realize that everything is within them. And then basically I found an Upgrade to Life. I was inspired actually to just call this Upgrade to Life. I don't know why exactly I call this Upgrade to Life, but that's the name right now, upgradetolife.com. Visit the website if you haven't. And on there, I help people actually manifest their goals and shift their self-concept, shift their identity, shift their state of consciousness, which again, deepest shift possible. Okay, made a video about this. It's called How You Can Completely Transform and Shift Your Identity and Manifest Your Goals. I will link this above this video. Definitely make sure you check it out after this video. And yeah, that is my story until this point. But for example, when I was in here and when I discovered Neville and I set the intention, for example, that I want to have my own business, I want to have an online business, I want to work from where I want, whenever I want, something like this, I want to make good money off that, I want to make people, I didn't knew that this is going to be Upgrade Your Life. I didn't knew that this is the form that I teach the law of assumption. Okay, so it just unfolded. That was just a bridge. It unfolded for me and now I am here. Okay, so that is who I am. I'm Nicholas. That's my story summarized. Obviously, there's endless things to talk about, but that's just in summary how I came across Neville and started to do all of this stuff, what I'm doing now. And so let's talk about some personal stories that I experienced, that I got. And I wrote some success stories because there are so many things that happened when I discovered this law. I can't put all of them in one video. It would take too long. I have books. I have 3 books. One of them is like this. You can see that. And I have 2 other ones with stories, with intentions, with notes, with where I tracked things, where I tested things. It's really much. But I try to point out some of the stories that I really liked. But again, that's not everything. So I have some stories on revision. I have some stories on money, some stories on people, on specific people, some stories on self-concept and identity. Right, and some stories where I turned no's into yeses. Before I jump into those stories, I want to quickly mention one thing, and that is, this is all great. And I love those stories. I love seeing them again and again happening in my daily life. But the biggest success from all of those stories, besides all of those stories, that is really the discovery and the realization that I am like the operant power, that there is no power outside of me. That truly you are responsible, that I am responsible for my life, and that I have this power within me to create the things that I want in my life consciously without a lot of effort by just applying quote unquote the right things. Everything is already within me. And this is a realization, this is, I would say, like a success basically that you cannot put in words, because that helps you to not only manifest some things, again, which is great. That is why we're here for, to manifest our goals, manifest our desires. That's the purpose. Great. But besides that, you have this deeper realization of your true self, of that you are bigger than only what your ego is telling you. I think that is beyond the success stories. That is really powerful, and that is when your life just starts to be more easy. You are more at ease. You're more at peace. Everything just flows, and that's a lot of fun. And then this stuff, the law of assumption, that becomes your new lifestyle. So I want to start out by explaining to you what I did in the beginning and what I did to test this. And again, this is just some of the stuff I did. You can test this with everything. Okay, that's just what I personally did in my journey. So as I said, here are the 2 other books that I have, and they're full with success stories. They're full with testing, with daily manifestation like lists, with intentions, with goals, with stuff like that. I try to track everything. And the first thing I did, don't laugh at me, but the first thing I did, and when I look back right now, this is super easy, super small basically, is really this so-called ladder experiment, right? Where you imagine climbing a ladder before you sleep, climb it up, climb it down, climb it up, climb it down. And some days later, I was at my parents' house, and they said to me, my dad said to me, hey Nicholas, can you come into the garage? There is something heavy that I want to put into this higher shelf. Can you please do that for me? And I said, yeah, sure. I went to the garage. There was a ladder. I didn't notice it at first. And I climbed it. And then I was like, whoa, shit. Like I imagined climbing a ladder 3 days ago. And the thing is, in the beginning, your reasoning mind will tell you, you know what, this would have happened anyway. That's just because and circumstance happened and that led to you to do this, but it has nothing to do with your imaginal act. But later, when you have a lot of stories, when you have a lot of experiences, when you have a lot of success stories, you know that it's because you imagined this. And this is peace, this is freedom. It's just awesome because you know you can create things with your imagination, right? Imagination creates reality. So that was the first thing I did, this ladder experiment. Second thing I did was just because I got a little bit more confident, still had a lot of doubts, a little bit more confident, tried, let's try to manifest some money, right? Why not? It's funny. Money is fun. And I tried to do this. So I tried to intend and visualize and imagine that I have cash in my hand, more than I usually get from people, or getting cash from people that never give me money and all of this stuff, and it worked. And quite after some days, I had like a small amount of money combined together, like some hundreds euros, whatever. And this was fun, right? I saw, worked again, awesome. I just imagined this. I can remember holding it in my hands and touching it. This is what I did. And also then I took a photo of it, and here you can see the books again, in which I tracked like the success stories that I got. So the next thing I try to do is also see, does everyone as you pushed out work? Okay, does it work that other people that I imagine doing things, that they do things to me? So I imagine getting compliments. I imagine that people say things to me, ask me about a specific topic, and do all of this stuff, and it worked quite well. I remember the thing that I did was just hear voices of people that I know, from some specific people, to just give me a compliment. It worked quite easy. And you can also do this in general. You can just say, okay, I will get a lot of compliments. Just do it, right? It's just, you do this your whole life. This is not something new, by the way. Manifesting on a lot of the stuff, this is nothing new. We do this our whole life. It's actually just becoming more aware of what we are doing so that we can then control it and get the results that we want, okay? So this is easy peasy stuff, like ladder, money in cash, compliments, getting free drinks. This also worked a couple of times in the favorite store where I get like food to go in my city. There is a guy who sells the food, and I know him. He's very cool. And I actually, what I imagine that this, maybe some days before I went to the store, is I imagined my hand grabbing a drink. Not seeing this person, just my hand grabbing a drink. I internally knew in which store this will happen. So just grabbing and feeling this drink. Then I went to the store 2 days later or 3 days later, I can't remember exactly, and I didn't get a drink. So I went there, I expected, oh yes, I will get a drink, awesome. I didn't get a drink. I was very upset. I wanted to give up. I thought maybe this is bullshit, whatever. And then I totally forgot about this whole situation, right? I totally forgot about this free drink and whatever. I had other things to do. And like 3 weeks later or so, my parents asked me, hey, do you want to drive to the store and get some food? And I went in there and I bought it, purchased the food. And then this person told me, hey, do you want to get this free drink? I would like to offer you this free drink today. And in this moment, I remembered back the imaginal scene that I did, and I remembered, awesome, it worked. Just like with a little time period between, but who cares? So this was really nice. Finding stuff. I think I don't have to explain too much about this, right? Just imagining that I find this, and that, and some money on the ground and stuff like that. Also super easy. And also getting messages from specific people. I have a ton of messages from a lot of specific people that I haven't heard of in years, or that I haven't heard of in some weeks, that didn't message me back. I just imagined getting this message, having this message, and it worked exactly like that. And I explain this with this ease because from my current state that I'm in, this is small stuff. Like that is for me not very interestingly longer. And I hope you understand this. But when I was in the beginning of the stage, this was huge. Like I was excited. I was like, oh my God, this works. But when I look back, this was just like, yeah, of course this works. It's like, that is the law. That's the law of assumption. That is imagination creates reality. But it was very good in the beginning that I proved it to myself, that I tested it, and that I really saw the results with those small things. So I kept going. I kept testing it with people, with objects, with things. I just kept going. And Now let's talk about some more quote unquote bigger stories. Okay. There's so much daily stuff happens. Today there was another story, but that's a whole nother topic. But there's so much. So I try to come up with some things, right? That I just picked from the book that are exciting to me. So one thing is meeting with specific people that I haven't spoken to in years. So this happened a lot of times, and I want to explain 2 examples, right? So one is very awesome. So there was a girl that I knew since I'm like 15, 16. If you're watching this video, leave me a comment down below. And we got to know each other in like summer camp and stuff like that. Then we had like no contact at all for a very long time. And then I thought about this person again, and I was like, it would be a great way to again see that this law works all the time, right? So I just did this out of fun, out of joy, out of having contact again, out of just having this friendship again. And I wrote this down. This is one thing I did. Like I scripted this thing. I have this written down in one of my books. And I also imagined us talking together, right? Just hearing her voice and seeing her face because I could remember her, and yeah, to test it out, right? And then a really strange, weird, but also awesome thing happened. So some days later, I went to my Instagram account, Neville Goddard Success, at Neville Goddard Success and at Upgrade to Life. Go follow now. And I went in this account, and I usually never do this. I usually never look like who is following this account and who are the new followers. I just don't do that. It's just awesome when new people are there, but I don't check in with everyone. But this day I did. I did it, and I saw that seemingly this person from the summer camp from a lot of years ago started following this page. And I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Is that the manifestation? Like, is that it? Because I imagined we meeting together. So I was like, okay, this will lead to something. So I saw her following the page. I texted her and I asked her, like, do you know who this is? Do you know the owner of this page? And she was like, yeah, it's you, Nicholas. And I was like, how do you know? Like, how do you know that this is me? How do you came across this page even when we haven't had contact for years and stuff like that? And she told me she came across Neville, she came across his account, and then actually we texted a little bit, and then we met each other. So long story short, this just worked one time, this just worked another time with another friend of mine. She lives in the same city as I do, as the same city that I grew up with. I grew up in, and I just said this person will reach out. The law works every time. I just want to meet with her, so I don't have to do a lot of work. The moment I had this desire, I just accepted, okay, this is going to happen. It's done. I have the desire for a reason. I just accepted we're going to meet. Awesome. I just made this easy intention. And I think it was only like 4 days later or so, she messaged me on WhatsApp directly, and she said, hey, Nicholas, I'm currently in town, and I'm in town for a very long time, or I'm just in town. I have some free time. I don't remember exactly. Would you like to catch up, meet up, hang out together? Boom. Super easy, right? And I have more of those stories. Those were just some very cool ones in my opinion. Then I have also turning people's no into yes. Okay, and hearing exact imagined phrases. So I have 3 stories where this happened. So the first one is, and I know this video is very long, but who cares? So first one is at New Year's Eve from 2020 to 2021, I wanted to make a party in my parents' basement. They have like a house with a big basement where there's like a party location, stuff like that. And I told them, yeah, I would like to do a party here. Is that okay? And my dad said, no, that's not okay. You're not allowed to do this. Please do this somewhere else, because with COVID, I don't want to have so much people in the house. I can't allow you to do this story, but it doesn't work. And I was like, okay, that's not cool, but I don't want to accept this. I want to do a party here. So what I did is shortly after that, I didn't accept this, and I imagined that we have a conversation on our table where me, my mother, and him would just speak, and then he telling me, you know what, I thought about this, and you can do this. Maybe I was a little bit too strict on this. Those were nearly like the same things that I imagined. Don't know exactly what it was, but it was that he told me that he changed his mind. That was actually the thing, that he changed his mind and I can do this now. And remember, he said clearly, no, it's not going to happen. And some days later, don't know exactly how much later, he said those sentences to me. He said, Niklas, overnight, I just slept about this and I thought about this, and you know what, maybe I was a little bit too strict on this. Maybe you can just do this, but don't make too many people. Make it so that it's that the police is not coming or something like that, right? And again, other people would say this would have happened anyway. I know this wouldn't have happened anyway. I imagined that it happened, and it happened. So another story was that one of my best friends, there are two awesome stories. So one of my best friends, it was also about the New Year's Eve party, and he said he couldn't make it. He's not able to come to this party because he has to work on this day. Like he's a policeman, and I was like, okay, that's cool, but I wanted him here. I wanted to celebrate the New Year's Eve with him. So what I did after he said no to me is that I imagined him and I hugging each other on New Year's Eve when he came into the door. Like I imagined him opening the door, I'm seeing his face, and we're hugging each other and saying, hey, it's so awesome that you're here and stuff like that. Did this once or twice. I completely forgot about this act and this scene and whatever. And on the New Year's Eve, on the morning of the New Year's Eve, he texted me and he said to me, hey Niklas, the job that I actually, sorry for that, it's my phone. And he said, the job that I actually have to do, it's like it's gone. I don't have to do it any longer. They have another person that will do the job, so I'm free. I can come to your party. Is it still possible for me to come to your party? And I said, hey, of course, bro, come on. On the New Year's Eve, he came into the door, we hugged, and I just knew, again, it happened. Another story is one of my best friend, and if you're watching this, bro, leave me a comment down below. Another story is one of my best friend. We wanted to visit another friend, and my best friend, he said, sorry, I can't go. I don't want to this day. I'm not feeling so right. Or not, he didn't say that he felt bad, but he just said he don't want to. Right? He wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to spend time with us, with me and other friends. And I was like, okay, that's cool, but I would like us to be all together and have a great evening. So I didn't force it. I didn't try to with force and on the outside try to convince him. But what I just did is I imagined me and my parents on the next morning talking together, and I talking to my parents and saying to them, yeah, it was a great evening, and this person were all together on the evening, including the friend that said no, right? So I just imagined something that would happen after the end, as you can see. And I did this, and it took basically, I would say less than 2 hours, and he came with us. He changed his mind. And he said before, no, I'm not going to come with you. Those are all stories where when you do them over and over again, you see, all right, it's the imaginal act that's the cause, right? So really, really powerful. Another one that's also a great story, I really like this one because it happened very quickly, is getting money transferred to my bank account from a past business deal. So to keep it short, I had a business venture together with my best friend from the previous time before I started Upgrade to Life and stuff like that. But the money couldn't be paid to us because we hadn't had our own business. And there were some complications with the government and stuff like that, and with financial advisors, and everything was complicated. Just to make it short, we were not able to get the money paid to us, right? And we waited for months and months and months, and then my friend was actually the person that would get the money, and then he would have it to transfer the money to me. So you see, there were a lot of things involved, a lot of circumstances, but I just said, you know what? When I did all of the stuff before, I also can get this money to my bank account. So the only thing I did was to consciously imagine holding my phone in my hand. I know this exactly because it's not that long ago. So it's like from February this year. So I remember holding my phone in my hand, holding it, feeling it, and seeing the screen and seeing exactly the notification from my bank and seeing he received the money. That's it. I just did this maybe 2 times. I really saw this message. I really felt my phone. I saw the message. And I quickly forgot about it because it was not that important to me. Okay. And I would say 6 hours later, that happened on the same day. That happened on the same day too. Like 6 hours later, my dad had a birthday party on this day. And me and my family, we were all like at home, and I remember I was sitting on the couch, my phone was laying next to me, and I felt the vibration of my phone. I instantly checked my phone, like just looked at it, and I saw exactly this, what you can see right here. I took a screenshot because I just wanted to keep this as a memory for me, to remind myself of, wow, I consciously manifested that, and I got the money. So this is a super awesome story and brought me a lot of faith. Another one is having my own business with at least 10,000 euro per month. So I actually will link up a video above where I share with you how I manifested 33,000 euro in my business. Because I just wanted to test it with everything, and also with money, also with my business, right? My aim is to have an awesome online coaching, consulting, law of assumption, shifting your self-concept business. And I manifested that. And as you can see, here's some random screenshots I took. This is one where you can see 25,000 euro. That's around $28,000. I don't know exactly. That I got from January to, I think, like March. Then I have like other payments that were transferred to my bank account. So it's hard to put this into one screenshot. Those are screenshots combined. But yeah, this also worked. Like this worked especially because I shifted my self-concept. I also had scenes, I also mentioned congratulations on people telling me, wow, like how did you did this? How were you able to manifest this money? I really had people telling me this in my imagination, and they actually told me this already in this world as well. So great manifestations here, awesome stuff. And this is just the beginning, by the way. So another thing that I did is a revision on the spot. There's one awesome story that is the most recent story that I got, and that is I wanted to go to a barber shop, right? I wanted to get a new haircut, but because of COVID and stuff like that, they are completely booked, and they only have a couple of spots, and you have to call sometimes 1 week before you want to get a spot so that they can fit you in. And I called them, and I wanted to have a spot, and I wanted to have a haircut on this day. I don't know exactly why I wanted a haircut this badly, but I just wanted this fucking haircut. So I called them, right? They said no. I kind of expected that, but that's okay. They said no, sorry, we're fully booked until Wednesday next week, so you have to choose, you have to wait, or we can make a spot for you right now, but then you have to wait 1 week. And I was like, no, it's okay right now, I just call again. And internally I knew, okay, that's not it. And what I did after I ended the call is I instantly revised the call. I instantly imagined, instead of they telling me, no, sorry, you can't come, I imagined that they told me on the phone, you know what, we will call you back, let me have a look on my book, and I'm sure we will find a spot for you. That was believable to me, and that was something that was easy to imagine at this stage. So I imagined that, right? They're telling me, yeah, you know what, I will check the bookings again and we'll let you know. Revise that, imagine that again and again and again. Kind of forgot about this, and some hours later, also on this day, the woman from the barbershop, she called me, and she said to me, hey, there's one woman, and her spot got canceled because she called us and she said she couldn't make it to the barbershop, or she didn't took that long. There was like a shift that happened, and they told me, yeah, we can fit you in, you can come today. Just tell us if it works for you. We have to know now so that we can fit you in. But it works because the schedule rearranged itself. And I said, yes, of course. And I went there and I got a haircut. And that's just another awesome story. And again, it's really easy to say for outstanding people that, oh, this is crazy. Oh, this would have happened anyway. But it wouldn't. That's just the point. Those are just awesome success stories showing that imagination actually creates reality. Okay, so on the last thing I want to point out, and I know this video is 40 minutes long until this point, it's crazy, but the last thing I would like to point out is that the biggest shift, again, happened after I shifted my self-concept, after I really shifted who I am. Because I shifted into the self-concept that this is easy, that all of this stuff, all of those teachings are normal for me, or my new lifestyle, they are natural. I don't have to work hard to get results. It's easy for me, right? So those self-concept shifts and shifts my identity also related my business, right? It's easy for me to get clients. People want to work with me. People enjoy working with me. I provide great value. I shifted into those states, and that is what I get reflected back. So it's really awesome, and it just shows how greatly this works. And again, if you want to also get such stories, if you also want to get results, learn more, check the 2 links in my bio and in this description about my free masterclass. And you will also find a free 45-minute call that you can book with me so that we can see if we are a good fit working together. Now, to conclude this video, I want to recommend you to 3 videos that explain more about what I did and explain more about things that I learned and applied and helped me to get results. So the first thing is the story of how I shifted my self-concept and manifested 33,000 euros, right? Check this out here. The second one is me talking about infinite states of consciousness, how you can shift into another state and therefore experience different things in your life. And the last thing is about self-concept and why this is so important. Okay, so I hope this video helped you. I hope by now you know who is behind Upgrade Your Life. I hope by now you have a better picture of me. I hope my stories inspired you. Again, those are just some stories. There are more stories. There are stories with specific people. There are stories with romantic people. There are stories with other money stories. There are stories, people giving me exactly the things that I wanted to, from food to objects to other things. There's a lot more stuff. But again, when I would fit all of this in one video, I would talk over 60 minutes or whatever, or whatnot. So it's just too long, right? Maybe I will do this in another video. Those were just some stories that happened recently that I really like, that are awesome. So there's so much more. Just know that this law works all the time, every time. It doesn't only work for me, it also works for you. And that's it with this video. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you have questions, comments, leave them down below. I enjoy all of them. And that's it for this video. See you in the next video. Bye, guys.